If you play Haikyuu Legends, this video is for you. A lot of people I notice talk about how they can't spike the ball or how they're not spiking good, they're not getting perfect spikes. And there's multiple reasons for this, but the main reason is probably the fact that you're not a spiker. One thing that I've noticed since I started this game is that people love trying to spike the ball. Now, while spiking may be the most efficient way to get a point on the other team, it's also not the only way, and I feel like a lot of people, including yourself, might need to realize that. You also need to realize in that some case scenario, spiking is not a good way to finish. Worst case scenario, you end up hitting the ball and it says too low, then the other team practically gets a set from you and can spike it perfectly. Another thing I see a lot of people do is spike contest, and this is not only bad for your own team, but it's also bad for you yourself. If you don't know what spike contesting is, it's basically when you or the opponent spikes the ball and you or the opponent responds in another spike. This normally goes down for like 4 or 5 times before another teammate finally comes out of nowhere and spikes the ball down. So spike contesting is something that you should absolutely want to avoid because it could really sell you a point. The best way to counter this is to just simply be teammates. I always see people in this position and the main thing that they do is go up front and try and spike it with their teammates. But instead of this, you should have teammates in the back in case the opposite team ends up getting a good spike in while this is happening. So then in that case, you'll have people in the back in case the spike goes too far. They'll be able to bump or set it and then you can get an easy spike in. Now, the final and third key part of getting better at spiking or being able to spike the ball is to understand your character and understand how to play. Now, if your character has good hops and a good spike, this is how you should be serving. When throwing up the ball, you want to wait until it hits the peak of its height in the air and then wait until it starts to come down. That is when you're going to want to take your opportunity to jump up and spike the ball. Now, as I said in the start of the video, spiking is not for everyone. Each character has their own designated position and their own strong suits. Let's take all 3 of these godlies for example. Now, as you could see, Bokuto is the best one in this case of spiking. He has the highest spike out of the group and also one of the highest jumps. Now, if we look at Okaiwa, we could see that he has max jump and serve. But don't get it wrong, just because he has max serve does not mean your spike is going to always be perfect. This just simply means that when you get a perfect spike, you'll have a better chance of getting it in rather than spiking it out because you hit it too hard. Now, Kageyama has a lot of good stats, but his spike and bump are terrible. So in this scenario, Bokuto would be your best character for spiking. Okaiwa would more than likely be a bump or set type of person, and the same would go for Kageyama. And this is pretty much all you need to know about Haikyuu Legends and how to probably win every game that you play. At the end of the day, some of this does come down to how your teammates play in the overall game, but a lot of it also comes down to how you participate.